Day 342 of Everyday Bible with Ada Ukabia. Romans chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7. You get how life go do you and you can't convince yourself, say you get some chapters we don't permanently they close to you. You go to talk to yourself, say my time has passed, I'm behind. It's too late to start again. You see this story of Abraham and Sarah they mentioned for chapter 4 for today's reading. Those two, then they at the stage where every natural sign they tell them say their story don't end. They don't old. Their body don't old, their strength don't they go. Even the promise of a child can be like say, it don't expire. Yet the Bible say God gives life to the dead and calls things that are not as though they were. God is specialized in situations where they look like say don't finish. Today, if you feel like Abraham, you dey stuck between a promise and a reality that doesn't match. Maybe the dream where you once carried looks like say it don't completely dey impossible for now. A business where you don't try to build, a marriage where they feel like say they cold, a purpose where be like say they out of reach, or a door where you think say God don't open, but instead that door still remain closed. This Romans chapter 4 they teach us that faith is not pretending everything is perfect. Faith is believing that God's word is still stronger than any circumstance where you find yourself. Abraham no deny his reality. He just refused to let that reality have the final say. If God has spoken, he can still perform it. Time does not cancel God's promises. Delays no dey weaken God's power. And your age, your past, or your mistakes, they limit the ability of God to rewrite your story. So your situation feel look like say it is silent, it is slow, or even dead, kata kata. But in the hands of God, dead things they live again. So don't just close this book on your future. No bury that dream where God don't plant in your heart. And if he bring life out of Abraham's impossible situation, he go fit bring life out of your own. In the next chapter, we learn that through Jesus, we don't receive waiting we no feel earned by ourselves. Peace with God. And this peace, no be feeling, na position. Paul they say, we now stand in grace. So make we think about that one. We stand in a place where we are fully loved, fully accepted, and fully forgiven. Not because we are perfect too, but because God is. So God na dey perfect. And when you understand that, life could change. Romans chapter 5 also say that even our troubles have purpose. Not because God they enjoy to watch us the struggle, but because He they use those challenges like a training ground to produce endurance, character, and eventually hope. That hope no they disappoint. Hope they remind you that that pain will not break you. God is building something inside you. Maybe today you dey waka through pressure, financial stress, parenting worries, a broken relationship, health concerns, or maybe the silent battles where nobody they see. This particular chapter, they whisper a comforting truth. Say you are not alone in it. God's love has been poured into your heart through His Spirit. You are held even when you feel like say you dey shaky. You are covered by grace even when life feels overwhelming. And then Paul can say something even deeper. He talks say, while we were still weak, still imperfect, still making mistakes, Christ died for us. God no wait for us to get our life together before He go love us. He loved us first. He chose us first. He reached for us first. So today, walk out with confidence. Not because everything they perfect, but because you can stand in grace. Grace that surrounds you, carries you, and keeps you. Grace where they tell you, say your worst moment is not the end. Your best days are not behind you. Grace where they remind you that you are deeply loved, fully forgiven, and never alone. One of the hardest things in this our life now to believe that real change fit dey possible. Many of us they carry labels from our past, mistakes where we don't make, habits where we no fit break from, decisions where we dey regret. Sometimes we dey start to think maybe this is just who I am. But now, in chapter 6, we can understand that you don't have to stay who you used to be. Paul they talk say when we come to Christ, we go dey united with Christ in His death and in His resurrection. That one they mean say the old version of us, the version where they controlled by sin, fear, guilt, and shame, it no longer has the final say. The old you is not in charge anymore. This chapter no they deny say temptation they show up, but they teach us that sin is no longer our master. Imagine say you dey live in a house where a very wicked landlord used to rule over your life. They shout orders, they control your decisions, they keep you trapped. Then one day the ownership can't change. A new landlord can't come. One way they full of grace, strength, and patience. Now exactly what Jesus do for us. The old master still they shout, but it is no longer having authority over you. Paul they talk say, consider yourselves dead to sin, but alive to God. Don't define yourself by who you were. Define yourself by who you are becoming. As it be so, you dey waka in newness of life. No be perfection, but progress. Not trying hard, but surrendering deeper. Not fighting alone, but letting God strengthen you from the inside out. So when old habits call your name, when guilt they try to remind you of your past, when your mind they whisper, you will never change, you never change, just remember, you have a new identity, a new power, and a new life. In the last chapter for today, now all about good intentions and real struggles where each and every one of us they face. Paul talk say, I want to do right, but my actions betray me. That one sound familiar, Abi? You dey tell yourself say you want to eat healthy, but the fried chicken just dey call your name anyhow. You promise say you no go overspend, but as soon as you hear online sales, you go just dey hear whisper for your ear, just this ones, just this ones. This last chapter, they teach us simple truth. Good intentions are not enough. We need support, we need structure, we need grace. In this chapter 7 alone, I see 3 life lessons. Be honest with yourself. You see, say pretending say everything dey okay, no dey break freedom. Instead, admit say you need help. Set up systems, not just goals. If Paul fit struggle, you self you go struggle. So you need to build boundaries, an accountability partner, a timer, or a routine. Last, give yourself grace. Self-condemnation doesn't create change. Self-awareness, na dey create change. This chapter, they remind us, say transformation no dey come instantly, no dey come quick. It's daily, it's messy, and it's worth it. So that every day you go to strive to be transformed. You go strive towards that goal.